Hi everybody, Random DC here. Even though he's taken the video down, this is going to be my response to Darkness the Curse video about Sonic hate. Now, I wouldn't really call myself a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, despite the fact I really enjoyed Sonic Unleashed. I would consider myself more of a fan of Mario and Mega Man. So with this video, I'd like to just respond to some of the points he made. Now, this is just my opinion on the whole thing, and if you're only agreeing with me because I said it, then you're ass kissers and you should get the fuck off YouTube immediately. Now, to start with the whole thing about Mario sports games. Speaking as a Mario fan, I have to say I fucking hate the sports games. Very unnecessary, incredibly tedious, and they all bloomin' repeat themselves every single time. Like Mario Golf, Mario Tennis. There's even a Mario basketball game now. I mean, the only one that I've ever liked or was willing to give a chance was Mario Kart. And no, I haven't bought Mario Kart Wii because Mario Kart's kind of getting dated and old, in my humblest opinion. But the problem with Sonic is, well, Sega in general, it's not really Sonic's fault because he's a fictional character, he's not real. Sega's biggest problem is, they look around, see what's popular, and say, oh, that's good, let's put it in our game. When they fail to see that the franchise in question doesn't need these elements. I mean, there have been so many times, let's see, the guns, the mech walkers, the psychic abilities, the swords, the hoverboards, the weird creature thing, and all this stuff. All of these things could work in their own series. They should have given Silver's abilities to a brand new character, create a brand new franchise. It would have been great. You know, Sega would have had some fantastic games, but they just slap it all onto the Sonic franchise, and it's now a mess. I'm going to give another analogy to it here. I can't remember what this book was called, but I read this book when I was a kid about this woman who had a bicycle. She was riding around on this bike, and she kept saying what this bike needs is, and she would add something to the bike. It'd be like a bigger horn, another wheel, a bigger chair, a lampshade, all this stuff. And eventually, the bike was full up with all this stuff, and she toppled over. That image best sums up the Sonic franchise. It's crammed full of stuff it doesn't need. It's crammed full of characters that were never called for. I mean, there are some characters in the Sonic series that do work, like Knuckles, Tails, Blaze, and Shadow to an extent, but ask yourself this, do we really need characters like Jet the Hawk, Emerald, Marine the Raccoon, and of course Creeb the Rabbit? I got no problem with them adding characters to a series provided they do something, or they provide things beyond one game. Sega, if you're going to include characters, give them character development. My phone went off in the background there, I apologise for that. Anyway, and the thing is, we don't want to play as these characters. Sonic games now, you don't just play as Sonic, you have to play as the whole motley crew. I mean, can you imagine a Mario game where you played as Mario, Luigi, Wario, Yoshi, Peach, Toad, King Koopa, Toadsworth, what was that professor called? What was his name from Luigi's Mansion? Oh, his name escapes me. In a Mario platforming game. Imagine playing as all of them in a Mario platforming game. Now, granted, they made Mario 64 DS, but that was just a remake to celebrate the launch of the DS, so that one's kind of a given. But with Sonic games, we just want to play as Sonic. We don't want to play as Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Creeb, Shadow, Rouge, and all the other characters. Have them in the background or to provide story, that's fine, but we don't want to play as them. Multiplayer, maybe. Main story, no. And I will admit right now that Mario games are getting pretty generic and repetitive in terms of the fact is you have to keep rescuing the princess. I'm a Mario fan, and I'm thinking it's getting old. Same thing with Mega Man. The fact you have to defeat 8 robots to proceed to the main villain's base when you just cut to the chase and go right to his base, wouldn't you? I'd like to make a quick comment on the whole Shadow and Wario remark he made. Yeah, I mean, both series have created a generic-looking doppelganger of the main hero, or a character that bears a striking resemblance to the main hero. When you look at the Mario series, there's Wario and then there's Shadow Mario from Mario Sunshine. When you look at the Sonic series, there's Metal Sonic, there's Silver Sonic, there's the Mecha Sonic from Sonic and Knuckles, there's Shadow, there's Silver, there's Mephiles. That's 6 versus 2. And let's be honest here. At least with Wario, it's kind of different. It's just a greedy, fatter version of Bill Gates. Whereas Shadow, Sega kind of jumped on the whole, ooh, I'm dark and mysterious. I look like the main hero, but I'm full of angst. Bandwagon, which I'm getting really sick and tired of seeing now. I've said it before and I've said it again. Shadow would have worked better as a wolf, and Silver would have worked better as a peacock. It's the headdress thing. Anyway, one final thing I want to touch on is the Sonic Storybook series, which seems to be like the new spin-off thing they're doing at the moment. I mean, I have played Sonic and the Secret Rings. I did not think a lot of it. It's really an unpleasant game to play due to the bad controls. But I have to admit, I'm a fan of those sort of stories, and that was kind of interesting. But my point with the Sonic Storybook series, it's not really revolutionary. Sticking a character into a brand new environment or setting. I mean, we've seen it before with things like Garfield, Babes and Bullets, Muppets Christmas Carol, Treasure Island they did. The episode of the 90s X-Men cartoon where Jubilee's telling the kids this fairy tale when all the X-Men are like these fairy tale characters, and the classic episode of Power Rangers Zia where Adam's having a nightmare and all his friends are horror characters. It's been done before, and sorry to say, it's been done a lot better. Closing thoughts on the Sonic series. It's still a good franchise, provided they know what it is. It seems people at Sega have forgotten what the Sonic series is all about, so let me just remind you. An evil rotund scientist called Dr. Ivor Robotnik is turning animals into robots to harvest the Earth for Chaos Emeralds, and Sonic the Hedgehog has to speed along, destroy these robots, and defeat this guy's plans to take over the world. Why does that need guns, hoverboards, werewolves, swords, mech walkers, and 17 sidekicks? Yeah. If anything, Sega should just stop making games and make a proper CG cartoon series. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, that's enough ramblings from me on this matter. This was a response to Darkness the Curse, despite the fact he took the video down, and I'm RandomDC, and I hope to see you all in the near future. Peace.
I like pickle onion, I like pickle lily, pickle cabbage is alright with a bit of cold meat on Sunday night. I can go tomatoes in, but what I do prefer is a little bit of cucumber, little bit of cucumber.